Hello everyone in psychology. I know this is a really late post, but I still want to get it up because I want to get this information across. So I am in group 2, and I will be talking about heroin addiction, bulimia, and OCD. Heroin addiction is an opioid addiction. Heroin addiction basically starts off with an individual taking a small dosage of like heroin, basically. And what happens next is they usually can't stop because of the withdrawals that come with heroin addiction. So then what happens is that people usually take more and more and more heroin until they are at the point of no return, and they basically developed a tolerance at that point, which is makes it way harder to stop. And also, they can't really reduce the intake anymore, and they can't control the usage at all. And if they try to stop, they have cravings, like really bad cravings. OCD is known as obsessive compulsive disorder, and I personally believe that I think everyone has like a decent or like a little amount of OCD in them. Maybe not nearly everyone, but I think that everyone does. But that's like a little bit off topic. So obsessive compulsive disorder is the reoccurring or persistent of thoughts, images, or ideas like that pop into someone's head. So the compulsiveness of that would be like blocking the thoughts, images, or ideas that pop in the head. And a really good example of this would be, so I'll do this personally. So I personally am someone that is a little bit of a perfectionist. So I'll take my time with the small little details and everything. For example, if I'm writing an essay, I'll take probably an hour just editing the introduction, like a basic introduction. I'll literally edit it until it's different every single time. And I guess that would be an example of OCD. So yeah. And also want to talk about bulimia. Wait, before I do that though, OCD usually deals with anxiety, so it's caused by distress, and then the mind tries to relieve that distress or whatever, distress by doing something that relieves anxiety. So for example, in the case of me writing those essays, my mind would just try to sway me to think oh, it's okay, it's just move on to the next paragraph. I mean, and it takes a while for me to actually move on until I tell myself oh, okay, it's good. And it usually involves rituals. OCD involves rituals. So anything that would have helped me in that situation reduce stress would have been a ritual. So that would be the act of that. And then, so I'll talk about bulimia now. Bulimia is binge eating. So that's an eating disorder. Binge eating, usually I'll give an example for that as well, actually. So let's say I ate at 8 o'clock at night. I binge ate at 8 o'clock at night. I was hungry. I just needed to eat something. While I was eating, I could physically not stop eating because I was so hungry. I could not stop eating. That would be known as bulimia. What usually happens with bulimia is that people are scared to gain weight and lose weight, so they try to balance it out, which is really weird. And it's usually caused by weight loss diets. And let me look at my notes really quick. Okay. People with bulimia usually tend to eat really fast, really fast. And they eat until they feel uncomfortable. They also tend to feel depressed, guilty, and just really disgusted with themselves afterwards. And I mean, it's a terrible thing to have and experience. And people like I said in my example, like they lack like self-control, overeating, and it's just bulimia is something that goes really unnoticed because it's so like subtle. People aren't usually like really skinny, or they aren't like really how would I say this? People with bulimia are really hard to identify because they simply just fit in like anyone else, but in reality they're like really suffering like mentally, and it can cause some serious damage to like the body and the mental. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please comment below. And I do apologize for posting this late video. So yeah, please comment below. Thank you.